Hi, I'm Brandon Carroll, one of the Senior Technical Evangelists here at Riverbed, and in this video we're going to talk about templates. Now, one of the really neat things about SteelConnect EX is that it's a template-driven configuration. What this means is that we can configure values in a template and apply it over and over again to several devices that are going to have a common configuration. Well, there's three types of templates that we're going to discuss. There's common, device, and service. And so what it all boils down to is what we're trying to deploy or what we're trying to accomplish. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time in the common template. That has some values like zones and so on, things that would apply sort of everywhere, common to the entire deployment. Then we have a device template. Now, that's a really important type of template. So, for example, we might have a data center. We may have multiple data centers. Now, the SteelConnect EX that we deploy in the data center, in Data Center 1, is probably going to have a very similar configuration to Data Center 2. So we'll create a data center device template, and then we'll apply that to both of those appliances. And then service templates actually come in many different forms. We have a stateful firewall. So that's one type of template. We have a next-gen firewall. We also have templates for doing things like quality of service or service chaining. And so on. So what happens is we think about these things first, and we build those templates. We might configure a next-gen firewall template for the data center. So we could actually say that we have a DC firewall, and that is a next-gen firewall service template. And then we might say that we have a branch firewall template. Again, a service template. So we build those configurations first, and then we deploy our devices. Now, when we deploy a device, we don't just create a device template. The way that we onboard a device is through a workflow template. So let's say that we create a data center workflow template. Now, that data center workflow template is going to have some variables included in it. Things like interfaces, things like IP addresses, things like routing values, and so on. So we'll configure all of these templatized, right? So we use variables here. We create our data center template. And then once this template is created, since it's the data center, what we're going to do is we're going to add this data center firewall service template into the workflow template so that when we actually deploy the data center, it packages it all together for us. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a device. This is part of the onboarding process. So we create a device. And let's say that our first device is DCEX01. We say that this device is going to have the data center template applied to it. As we build this device out, it's going to prompt us to fill in the values for the interfaces, IP addresses, routing, and so on. We fill in those values and then we deploy. So now we've actually got a device that's been onboarded into the SD-WAN environment called DCEX01. It is built from the DC workflow template. When we create this workflow template, it actually creates a device template for us called DC. So now we can go ahead and modify the device template called Data Center anytime we want to modify the specific configuration on that device and any other device that's been configured using that same workflow template. So now when we onboard DCEX02, we apply that same template. It gets the same firewall. It has the same configuration consistently across my data centers. If I want to, I can configure an individual device, but again, the benefit is that we're using templates to build our overall configuration. Well, this is just a peek into how we can use templates for our benefit in the configuration of SteelConnect EX. I hope you found this video useful, and I look forward to communicating with you and hearing your thoughts and answering questions in the Riverbed community forums. Thanks for watching.